Am I the a-hole for not forgiving my sister for crashing my car? Original post. My stepsister, female 21, crashed my female 18 new car after I told her she couldn't use it again. My stepsister, we'll call Paula, had 2 cars. Both she got from her dad and my mom, and she destroyed both of them within months of getting them. My mom and her dad got married when I was 11 after my dad died 3 years prior. I had a hard time accepting her dad and her, but in the end, I got used to it, and we have a solid relationship, or at least her dad and me. Paula got her first car when she was 17 just after she got her license. It was an older Audi she got from her dad. It wasn't the nicest car, but a good start. She didn't like the car, but it was better than nothing, so she used it. But after 4 months, she crashed it into my mom's car as she was coming back from a party. The second car she got last year for Christmas. My mom and her dad bought it for her. But guess what? She drove it into the river on New Year's because she forgot to put the handbrake on. My mom and her dad were furious, but she didn't care. She said she would just buy a new car and they should chill out. She moved out afterwards to her own apartment. So I just bought myself my dream car, a Mini Cooper 2014. I did years of saving for it. My stepsister visited 2 weeks ago over the weekend while I was at my grandparents' house, so she thought she could use my car while I was gone and drove shopping with it. When I got home, I saw a huge scratch at the back. I asked my mom how it got there, and she was clueless. She didn't know Paula took the car while they were sleeping. Paula, looking all innocent, said she took the car on a little shopping tour because I wasn't using it. I was so angry at her and said if she ever uses my car again without my permission, I would kick her butt to the moon and back. She said she was sorry and that some idiot scratched it, not her. When I was coming home today, I saw my car crashed into the wall in front of our house, and Paula, my mom, and her dad standing beside it. I was furious. I asked what happened and why my car was in the wall. Paula said she accidentally crashed it because she wanted to drive it to the nail salon and she confused the front and reverse gears. I exploded. I screamed at her that I want her to pay for the car and that she was a horrible person because she didn't even look guilty for destroying it, and she should never drive a car again in her life because all she does is cause accidents. I stormed away and locked myself in my room. Her dad said I should forgive her and that it was an accident and that we were sisters. I was shocked and so disappointed in my mom because she said nothing against it. I said that she wasn't my sister and I would never forgive her, and that I would move to my grandparents, and that she should better pay for my car, or I would sue her. He said that I was a brat talking to them like that, and that not forgiving her would make me a bad human being. So am I the a-hole for not forgiving her? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. This is lunacy. Is she wasted 24/7 or something? Does she even have a license or insurance? She got her license after her 3rd try and almost got it withdrawn for speeding, but my uncle works at a police station, so she always gets out of trouble. Not the a-hole. She stole your car, drove it, then wrecked it. She did not have your permission to use it, therefore it was stolen. Personally, I'd report her to the police and press charges. If that doesn't get her attention, then I am afraid nothing will. The facts are clear. No permission to use it plus person uses it anyway equals theft of car. Yep, this. Plus, OP's insurance rates will go up if it's an accident OP allowed. Call the police and report it as an unauthorized use of the car. Call insurance and make sure they know that the driver was explicitly prohibited from using the car. Take the payout from insurance and buy a new car. Stepsister can then deal with the insurance companies collecting from her or her insurance. If that means her rates go through the roof or she has legal problems, too freaking bad. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. If you're 18, the car is in your name and you paid for it, report it stolen. She needs to see consequences for carelessness. Have her charged with theft and tell her you won't drop charges unless she pays up immediately and both your parents apologize to you. Then, move to your grandparents as you can't trust any of them. Now for the first update. Today morning, I got a call from my stepdad saying Paula came crying and drunk driving in a car to them and begged him to try to change my mind to the police because she doesn't want to get into trouble. He said if I go to the police, my uncle won't do anything for me and that I'm no longer welcome at home. I just got back from the police station and filed a report of theft and damage to property against Paula, but turned out Paula and her dad called the police and said that I would frame her and that I crashed the car into the wall myself. So I'm on the way to a lawyer to help me with all of that. I also called my insurance company, and they said that would work on getting me the money I deserve. I'm now living at my grandparents' house and will distance myself from the rest for a while. Some of you had some questions about stuff, so I don't know why my mom didn't say anything against Paula and her dad. She's normally very vocal on her bad driving skills. Paula got both cars bought for her because she doesn't have the money to buy one herself, but I had to, so they only bought her the cars. When she crashed into my mom's car, she only damaged the right side of the car, so my mom wasn't that angry at her. And Paula always got out of trouble because my uncle always got her out of it. She got her license after the third time trying and only after my mom helped her out. She also got into an accident when she drove my mom's car and went to hospital for a broken leg, but nothing really happened to the car. I will update when something happens, and thank you for all the support in the comments. It helped a lot. With family like that, who needs enemies? Selfish to the core. Only contact them via text or email so you can get proof of communication for your lawyer. I would also report her reckless driving to your local driving. Advise them of the cars she has damaged and totaled, and the fact she has done the same to your vehicle by taking it without permission. Let them know, because of her reckless driving, that you are concerned that she will end up killing someone. I'm glad you are with her grandparents now. I think your mom is being pretty spineless for not standing up for you. I wish you well. Please let us know how you get on. I am so sorry you're going through this. Your parents and stepsister are absolutely horrible humans, and your stepfather had the audacity to say you were a horrible human. I also hope they get in trouble for filing accusations against you with the police that are false. Hang in there, and try to keep your head up. Second update. Just found out that my stepsister tried to fight my mom after she contacted me and wanted me to come back home. She's in the hospital right now because Paula broke her nose. I'm now on my way to her and hope she's alright and sees what kind of a person she really is. Paula also got arrested for stealing the car from a neighbor, and my stepdad is not talking to my mom or me right now, and my mom is thinking about getting a divorce. I don't really know what to say. I'm just overwhelmed with the situation right now, so yeah. She stole the neighbor's car? While being investigated for stealing a different car, and stepdad is mad at them? What the actual hell is wrong with this girl? Let's think about it. She got away with crashing 2 cars. Nobody other than OP cares she's driving drunk. She thinks she literally has cops wrapped around her finger. So yes, it is not hard to believe she thinks she can add thefts to this chain of mess. She never had any reason to restrain herself. That helpful family, that sweet uncle, is literally pushing this lady and anyone around her to death. Good cop records won't help you if you are having eternal sleep underground, or you can't move your fingers anymore. She could also have some kind of personality disorder. She has 0 impulse control. I mean, breaking mom's nose after she supported her for so long? Stealing and crashing car after car? Continuing to drive drunk when any sane person would have stopped after the first crash? What kind of a dumbass would take a neighbor's car? Same dumbass that would wreck 3 cars and not consider that maybe she should change her habits. Really though, seems like alcohol or substance abuse may be a factor. Opie mentioned that she drove drunk to her parents. What are the odds she had been not sober the other times too? Being drunk or high would explain why she'd be dumb enough to steal a neighbor's car. I had a friend in high school who needed to take her driver's test, something like 12 times. They let you retake only the parts of the test you failed previously, so she incrementally passed it, a few skills at a time. I rode with her exactly once, and afterward silently swore I would never get in a car she was behind the wheel of again. It's kind of amazing that people can be that terrible at driving and not realize they need to stop doing it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my kid if he can't share his food, it might be time for him to move out? On Valentine's Day, I got 2 large pizzas for my family to eat, and then I went to work. When I got home from my night shift, I went into the fridge and saw that there was still half a pizza left. I warmed up 3 slices for my supper and watched some TV with my cat while I ate. My son got up before I went to bed and looked in the fridge, and he got upset that I ate the food he was planning on taking for his lunch. There was lots of other food in the fridge, but he said he told his mom that he was taking the pizza for lunch and that I was greedy for eating it. I asked him if he would be greedy for taking the pizza for lunch, and he got pissy and left. My wife woke up when she heard us arguing, and she said that he had asked her and she said yes. I said, great, where's my dinner then? She said she didn't make me anything since there were leftovers. I asked her what leftovers, and a light bulb went off in her head. She said she was sorry for not making me dinner. I told her it wasn't her fault. There were leftovers. Then my son came back into the room and started arguing again that he had already claimed the leftovers for himself. This is where I might be the a-hole. I asked him how much he paid for the food. $0. How much he paid in rent. $0. Utilities. $0. We are letting him live here so he can save money while he's in college. But I'm sick of this entitled little jerk-off. So I told him if he had a problem with me eating his leftovers, maybe he should move out so he can have his food safely stored away from me. My wife says I'm taking it too far, but he backed down pretty quick and said no, and that he was sorry for saying anything. My wife says I'm being an a-hole for scaring him with kicking him out over some leftover pizza. But I'm not. I'm making sure he knows the best way to keep food that I paid for safe from me is to live elsewhere and buy your own food. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Reading the comments, he is 22. He is living at home rent-free. He isn't contributing to the household budget, and he thinks he can claim food you paid for. Unless you took it out of his lunch bag, you are not the a-hole. Info, does he have a job? He has a job. We are letting him stay here so he can save money. We are even paying for his college. He doesn't help out with anything except chores around the house. Not wrong that there's a little whiff of entitlement, but he seemed pretty straightened out after you pointed out costs here. But is your wife a bit of an enabler? She seems to jump to giving him his way in all of this. His leftovers? Leftovers are only leftovers when everyone has had their share for the meal. Your retort to him about what bills he pays in the house is pretty spot on, and something any parent I know would say. Sucks being on the receiving end of that quip, but it is valid. Your wife sounds like an enabler, and is just as selfish as your son if she allows him to claim a half pizza for his lunch after you went without. He does sound like a turd. Sorry you have to deal with him. Not the a-hole. Exactly this. It's not leftovers if everyone hasn't eaten. It's still dinner. This is how my 4-year-old may behave if we eat the last strawberry he's saving in the fridge. Even then I feel I need to gently teach him to be considerate. OP, not the a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I will stop gambling when she stops buying art supplies? My wife, 29 female, and I, 28 male, have been married for 3 years. We are currently saving up to buy our first house. We started saving about a year ago and are hoping to buy a home this summer if the market in our area adjusts in a beneficial direction. We are already pre-qualified with a lender and are closing in on our goal amount for the down payment. Once a month, I will go to a nearby casino and spend some time gambling. I do the same thing every time I go. I put $200 in one pocket and use that for gambling, and anything I win goes into a different pocket. Once the $200 is gone, I leave with whatever money I have at the other pocket. I usually just sit at a $5 blackjack table, since that's the game I enjoy the most. And if I just make minimum $5 bets, I can play for a couple hours and call it a night. Most nights I end up around even, but sometimes I lose $100 to $150, and a few times I've come home with an extra $200 to $300. I never, ever take out more than the $200 I allow myself to start with. And if I come home with winnings, that money goes directly to the house fund. My wife, on the other hand, is an artist and spends a lot of her free time painting and drawing. She has a very large collection of paint and other supplies and spends a lot of money on her supplies and equipment. She will sometimes sell a painting or drawing to friends or family, but she mostly just does it for her own enjoyment and relaxation. She doesn't do commissions or anything that would make money off her art. This past weekend, I was going to go to the casino, but my wife stopped me before I left. She said I shouldn't be going to the casino and throwing money away when we are trying to save for a house. I told her that I don't see how me going to the casino once a month for $200 is any different than her buying new art supplies. I gestured towards a box of new art supplies my wife had just gotten and asked her how much all of it cost. She didn't answer that and said that it's different because art is a hobby for her and gambling could lead to addiction. I reminded her of my system and that I never stray from it. I told her I just do this because I enjoy it, like a hobby, and that anything I come home with goes into the house fund anyway. She said if I had just taken all the money I spent at the casino, we could already be at our goal by now. And I told her I could say the same thing about her art supplies. I told her I will make a deal with her. I will stop going to the casino if she can go 2 full months without buying new art supplies and only using the things she already has. She told me that's not a fair deal because she's always discovering new things she needs as she progresses through projects. I told her in that case I'll be home from the casino in a few hours. She got mad at me and told me I'm being a selfish jerk and for caring more about gambling than getting a house. I left instead of fighting with her. Ended up coming home up $150. Not the a-hole. This is your hobby. You have a set limit, it's once a month. Sounds reasonable. Agreed. Gambling can be an addiction, but it sounds like it's just something you enjoy doing and have control over. Anything can be an addiction. Just because gambling is a problematic one for lots of people doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. As long as you're being responsible and you get enjoyment out of it, and occasionally even make money, then definitely not the a-hole. Your wife has to accept that your hobby is somewhat unorthodox, but you derive pleasure from it, and she shouldn't try to stop you unless you start changing the rules. As in going once a week, or upping your $200 limit to $400, or going for broke like no savings pocket every time. Not the a-hole. I'm not a big fan of gambling either, but you have a very reasonable set of boundaries. It's a hobby. As long as you stick to your boundaries, you'll be fine. Admittedly, I also have a craft supply problem myself. I think you should probably sit down together and make a budget in which both of you set aside an equal amount of fun money that you can individually use on your chosen hobbies. Whatever those hobbies are, the other person doesn't get to pass judgment on what you do with it, so long as you keep to that budget. I'm honestly very impressed that OP's so disciplined. I was expecting this to be more of an addiction, but it's very much a hobby for them, not the a-hole.